2026, and I'm here to talk to you all about what we're going through. Because when tough things are happening, it's really important that we get together and talk about what we're going through. And so that's what I'm making this a space for that. I call it Getting a Grip. It's not the official name, but hello, hello, hello. Thank you for being here. So there's so much, and we're really in overwhelm. We really have to be in a place. I mean, this is what I'm perceiving. We must be in a place where we really just don't even know where to put our thoughts. These times that we're in, we never were prepared for. And the evil and the darkness that is rising to the surface is just, you're welcome. Thank you for being here. Is just really hard to fathom because we didn't know there was this much evil in the world. We didn't know there was this much darkness in the world. Maybe we had a suspicion that maybe there's a lot of evil, but we haven't seen it the way that we're seeing it now. I like to think that what we have revealed to us can be healed. I think that's true on many fronts. And that is one aspect of what it is that we're going through, is that we have to see what needs to be healed. If we don't know what's there, we can't heal it. And the evil that has risen up to the surface for us all to see has been there for many, many years, many decades, really. And Trump is just, he's a piece of the whole evil puzzle. And he's a puppet for the most despicable, heinous, murderous humans that are on the planet right now. And I've been talking, and yesterday was tough. I was really ranting. We're just so upset. I was talking about the fact that it's obvious that, well, first of all, that he's really suffering from cognitive, I don't know, dysfunction. He's very, very compromised mentally, and he's compromised morally, and those two things didn't just happen just recently. I can see that that's been the case for years now for him. A few people pointed out in various social media platforms that there's a photograph of Trump with this really terrible rash on his neck and behind his ears, and he's kind of like disintegrating before our very eyes. It almost seems as though like evil is eating away at him. All the evil he's consumed and all the evil that he's kind of lived his life by cheating and conning and assaulting and bearing false witness against his neighbor. It's one of the commandments. He tries to get people to believe that he's a Christian. He's committed all 7 of the deadly sins. And he doesn't care about these soldiers. He does not care about these soldiers. And he's sending them in like they're little toy, those little green toy soldiers. Yep. I don't know what he has. Shingles, maybe? Could be. He's very unhealthy. So what we really see visually is what evil looks like, right? I mean, I think that we can perceive it. I think you can look at Netanyahu and see the evil. You can look at Putin, you can see the evil. There's a certain really morose, negative, almost like dead energy, dead-like quality. Your ICU nurse said it's from a peak line for dialysis. She believes, Freedom was saying, the ICU nurse said he was pumped full of crap for the State of the Union and they had to drain him. That just sounds like Frankenstein-ish. It's kinda like that, isn't it? It's scary how unhealthy he looks, and it's scary when he opens his mouth. I literally saw a clip today, a video clip of him at a press conference. I didn't watch the press conference, I don't know what it was. It was a room full of people, and he's been doing this the past couple of days. He started a war. The Middle East is on fire. He started a war on a kind of a whim, but there was a whole lot that led up to it. But in the middle of the night, he started a war. And the American people and the legit press are like, WTF, tell us what's going on here. Tell us what's going on. And he literally started to talk about the drapes. How there's these, of course, golden colored drapes, and how the drapes, oh, they're so beautiful, these drapes. And maybe he'll just not make beautiful doors. Maybe he'll just keep the drapes there. They're so wonderful. And what we're seeing from this regime, from the MAGA Republicans, is they're not seeing it. They're not noticing it. They don't know what's happening, but worse than that, they know what's happening and they don't care. So what do you call it when people have no humanity, no sense of we need to do something to avert the danger. We need to do something to stop this madness from destroying us all. And I'm not sure where these MAGA Republicans think that they're not going to be touched by this evil madness that he's perpetrating. I'm not sure why they believe that they're not going to be touched by that at all. You know, it's just like saying, okay, well, just go ahead. All the fossil fuel companies and the coal companies, just go ahead, pollute the air, let those forever chemicals that are cancerous, pour them into the water, into the drinking water. Like, they don't need to breathe the air and they don't need to drink the water. Cheryl Ann saying they're desensitized because they're raking in the money from donors. Well, that's what I'm addressing. How do you get that desensitized? Where you forget, not only for yourself, but most of these people have families, that you forget that, or maybe they don't even care about their children. Maybe that's it. Maybe these MAGA Republicans are so far gone that they look at their children and they go, well, they'll figure it out. They'll figure it out. Their hearts are evil. They have no heart. And then I think about, Elon Musk, and that I had heard him say that the problem with humans was empathy. Empathy's a problem. Did you know Elon said that? These oligarchs feel like, or they don't feel, they think that empathy is a problem. And they get people to, I don't know if they get normal people to believe this, but the evil ones they round people up that will believe that with them, and they have to be heartless in order to get into that camp of empathy is a problem. Well, I bet you anything that they would have times in their life where they really needed empathy. Because let's think about what empathy is. Empathy is, I encounter you and you show me something about your life that's painful, or I'm bearing witness to something that's really hard for you, and I put myself in your shoes, and I feel like, oh my gosh, what if that happened to me? Let me help you. That's empathy, where we feel what somebody else is feeling, and we want to kind of connect with that, because we have an inherent sense that when one person is doing well, we're all doing better. And doing well, my definition of doing well is living a really good life where you're kind and you're caring and you're compassionate and you have a good life and you feel happy because you know that you're the agent of of promoting goodness, and it ripples out and it comes back. I mean, I did learn as a child. I'm not sure where I learned it. Maybe I just inherently knew it. Think about what it would be like to be in that person's shoes. Think about what it would be like to be carrying their cross, however you want to put it. And we have these oligarchs and these billionaires and this affliction that they have of insatiable greed. Their sense of self must be just non-existent, because a sense of self is a sense of, I'm a human, and a human has human emotions. They must not have that at all. These people have such deep, dark, endless, really bottomless pits of holes in their souls. They must be in so much inner turmoil. I'm sure they're not aware that they're in all this turmoil, because it's probably been going on their whole lives, that they can never be satisfied. And Sage was saying these people always had money to never worry or lack a way to solve their worries. Yeah. However, do I think they're born that way or they're possessed? I think they become that way because of certain circumstances. I don't see these people as happy people, because if you're happy and you're content and you know what love is and you feel love in your life, of any kind of love, then you wouldn't need to take and take and take and make people suffer and take and take and take. I mean, I haven't followed like the biographical history of Bibi Netanyahu, but I know that he's been at this for a good 40 years, that he wanted what's happening now. And Trump needs to feel like he belongs and included. That's been the bane of his existence. The focus of Trump's life has been, how can I feel really important? And the only way he can feel really important is to cut other people down. So when Bibi appealed to Trump and Putin to Trump, and God forbid, but it's already happened, Kim Jong-un, right? When they were like giving him compliments and telling him how wonderful he was, he needed that. I mean, Trump was the kind of person we have heard, and you can see it, who, well, in New York, he wanted to be in the whole New York, the elites. He wanted to be in that club. And when I look at him, I see somebody who's like, nobody really wants to invite him to the party. But if, he's got lots of money and notoriety, even if it's negative notoriety, but if he has this money power thing, then they'll let him in. He's been using people his whole life to feel like some semblance of powerful, true dictator. One of the generals, who's now retired, I don't know if it was Kelly or Millie, one of them, warned us he's fascist to the core, like as if they wouldn't know. Fascist to the core. We know what we have, who's squatting in our White House. We know what we have. I've known for years. You all have known for years. We have to tell the others, but it's getting to a point where we don't really have to tell them anymore. I mean, I've been screaming from the rooftops for 10 years now, I feel like. And in this time, we will have to draw on our own empathy for those who just were uninformed and uneducated and caved into maybe their own racism. I mean, when we see what it cost us, their hatred of the elites, the need to own the libs, when we all see, all of us together, what it cost us, then things will turn around. And we are seeing a massive shift right now. In the past, really just 48 hours, the MAGAs that voted for this didn't vote for this. I'm not sure how they didn't see that everything out of his mouth is a lie. Like I always mention Alexei Navalny, who's behind me, who said about Putin, he never stops lying. I'm not sure how the MAGAs that voted for him didn't see how much he lies. Dictators lie. Putin started the war on Ukraine, and he told the Ukrainian people, the Russian people about the Ukrainian people, and the Ukrainians and the Russians were like, prior to that, they were like the United States and Canada. We didn't have a problem with Canada. We still don't. It's not the people. It's these crazed lunatics. So Putin would have these big, rallies and gatherings, and they're waving the Russian flag and they're cheering for Putin because he needs them to do that. And he would say, we need to save the Ukrainian people from the Nazis. And Zelensky, I think, is half Jewish. I know he's part Jewish. Yeah, and just about Trump. All this because some people were actually wrapped up in the price of eggs. Yeah, well, that was by design too. So the lying, and the lying, people compromised by their lack of education, their lack of curiosity, racism and bigotry superseding human decency. That is a choice. And we got this. And we got it not once but twice. And we know that Elon helped. We know that the Kremlin helped. They both admitted it. And Trump even admitted it. And we've talked about that before. So it's all corrupt. It's all criminal. It's all really dark and really horrid. And I know that it feels like it just keeps getting worse. And the Heritage Foundation was part of this whole thing, and Project 2025 we're in it now. And Trump on the campaign trail, when it was brought up to him, because people were starting to hear about Project 2025 and hear how horrible it was, his MAGA followers are like, oh, well, what about we just found out about this Project 2025. What's up with that? And they started asking questions. What did he say? What did he say? Oh no, I don't know anything about that. And his name appeared at least 300 times in Project 2025. Who was the one that was going to execute all this plan, and did. Yeah, he said he didn't know anything about it, right? When a populace falls for out and out continual lying and continual projection, that's when fascism gets in. That's how it gets in. You take a segment of the population that is dissatisfied and needs somebody to answer the call to save them from the price of eggs. I mean, I know it's more than that, but that's kind of how many times did we hear about the price of eggs? And then so last Easter, he was like, "Oh well, we got plenty of eggs for the Easter egg roll." It's like honestly, it wasn't about the eggs. Michelle saying, "I watched Nuremberg last night. I have not watched that yet. I'm gonna let me know where you found the movie. I haven't looked for it yet. There are certain movie companies that I'm not subscribed to anymore. Amazon Prime Video, obviously, and all the rest. Paramount Plus, no, none of them. But I would like to see that because we do need hope. We do need hope that we can combat this. And it's hard to find right now. So we're going to have to know that we have each other's backs. We really do have to know that. It's on pay-per-view? Okay, cool, thanks. The world has faced fascism before. Trump reportedly had Mein Kampf on his bedside table when he was married to Ivana. He said to one of the generals during his first term, he was trying to tell one of the generals that, they were talking about Adolf Hitler, and he said to the general, "But Hitler did some good things too, right?" Once again, I don't remember who the general was, but he was taken aback. And I mean, Trump is so off that people usually don't know if if he really means it. So here we are, and he started a war. And the MAGAs that voted for him definitely didn't want a war. And he told them that he wouldn't start any wars. And he said that he was, he was the peace president. And he claimed that he stopped 8 wars. And I don't know which wars. Nobody asked him, like, which wars are you talking about, right? So there's this, and we're in a constitutional crisis, and we see no profiles in courage. He started a war that is spreading fast. And we're in a world of nuclear weapons. And I don't know, pray your asses off. I really just don't know when what's on the human level is failing all over the place. Where do we go? Right? That's up to us as individuals. If you're Catholic, pray the rosary. I do that. If you're Jewish, and say your Hebrew prayers, or whatever. But I know that the most potent power that we have, and maybe it's part of praying, is union, is uniting. And there has to be a fundamental belief, I think, that goodness and love are way, way, way more potent. And I really feel like we just have to get that on a deep, 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 deep level and keep doing it and keep connecting with people. It's astounding. Like Kamala Harris said when she was interviewed, like a few months ago when she was on her book tour. I don't know if she's still on her book tour, but what stunned her about this regime and the place that we're in is that she didn't think that the Republicans would just capitulate to him. Not only the Republicans, but all these media companies and law firms and colleges and companies, corporate company, like they all capitulated to him. And that has made us feel very shaky because we have not had somebody stand up and be courageous. Corporate, law firm, college, university, whomever. We haven't had a real leader. I give Gavin Newsom a lot of credit. He's really taken some risks. A real leader that stands up and doesn't back down. A few generations ago, we had that. I'm kind of wondering, like, what does it take to have that selflessness? Like Martin Luther King, he knew he was going to be assassinated. You love my song, We Have to Come Together. Yes, I'm gonna share that more. Thanks. I'll put it in the description. You know, the profiles and courage that we've had in our history that have made us really inspired and a better humanity are the ones that just said, I have to stand for something or I'll fall for anything, right? Maybe they didn't think I'll fall for anything. We do have to consider that. We need to stand for something or we will fall. But say Martin Luther King, Nelson Mandela, these leaders, they looked at tyranny and genocide and all of the horrificness that was going on. And they went, okay, I'm standing up anyway. I'm speaking out anyway. I'm going to be an orator. I'm going to be a leader. I'm going to lead the people anyway. The fact that it was a major risk was part of the whole thing. It's part of the whole thing. Yeah, Clinton's deposition, he did the right thing. Yes. We need people that we can count on that are in positions of leadership. I haven't seen it yet. That will stand up and say, this is wrong. For God's sake, impeach and remove him. He incited a violent riot and insurrection and tried to take down the United States of America, and he didn't even get arrested. Lisa's asking, are we all still too comfortable? I think so. You might know that I did a little bit of an attitude about a comment, not on my channel, where somebody said, I'm so tired. I don't know why it rubbed me really the wrong way, but it really it was kind of like, well, that's beside the point. And I hate to be all bitchy about it, but I just know that that's not going to get us anywhere. And you know what I think about when the war in Ukraine started? It was February 24th, 2022. And then International Women's Day happened. And I saw a video of the women, the Ukrainian women that were on the front lines, and they were in some kind of bunker, and it was, they were maybe just taking a break. And there were male soldiers there, and they were all like friends, and and it was International Women's Day, which is on March 8th. So this is in 22. And the men there that were also fighting, they brought the women flowers. You understood my reaction? Thank you. Yeah, we can be tired and still stand up to this tyranny. Yeah. If you're tired, you don't have to tell everyone you're tired. We're all tired. And that's what I think about those Ukrainian women. Who knows? That was a few years ago. Who knows if they even survived? But it stuck with me. And the video clip that I saw more recently of a Ukrainian woman on New Year's Eve this year, and going into 2026, and they were having some kind of a festival, and there were vendors, and there was music, and there was celebration in Ukraine, despite the fact that they could get bombed at any moment. And this woman was happy and smiling and enjoying life and enjoying the celebration of New Year's Eve. So we can be like, oh, oh, this is so exhausting. Or we can just be with what's going on, and we can live our lives, and we can come together, and we can know that that coming together makes us more courageous. We can feel safety in numbers. But what we know for sure is the corruption and this international criminal enterprise that's in our White House, all of this ugliness requires us to be courageous. Yes, Luke Beasley went to Ukraine to visit, and yes, and showed they were still living with joy and hope. You know, what happened with to stand with Ukraine? We were seeing Ukrainian flags everywhere. What happened to that? The one other thing I want to just mention here is uh, it's kind of a stroke of evil genius, this wag the dog thing. Because prior to, oh, Boston Ryan went to Ukraine too. Good for him. Prior to this illegal war crime, starting the war without congressional approval, we were talking about the Epstein files, and we were really, really, really talking about ICE and DHS and the fact that they're buying up warehouses as we speak to build concentration camps, to stuff as many people as they can into them, like the slave ships. That bad. And we've stopped talking about it. It only took 48 hours. We've stopped talking about it. And so this time that we're in requires us to be multitasking. Yeah, we'll be tired to be juggling all the actions that we need to take to get this country to not devolve into Germany in the 1930s and 40s or North Korea. We won't stop. We can't stop, right? But let's remember that that's what we need to be working on more and more, especially the concentration camps. From my perspective, we know enough about Trump being in the Epstein files. We do. Iran called out Trump and Epstein. We need to stop the concentration camps. So I want to leave us with hope. I'm not an advocate for it's really bad and there's nothing we can do. Rachel Maddow used to do that, and I stopped watching. It was MSNBC at the time. I stopped watching her because of that. But then she kind of changed her tune, and she gives a lot of hopefulness now. I really like Lawrence O'Donnell a lot too. I don't watch MS now, but in fact, I tried to sign up for it for the app today, and I got just discouraged because I got impatient because they needed to, you know, follow all my information, and I don't want to get into all that. So I want to leave you with hope. You're welcome. It's my pleasure to come on. It really helps me. Uh, I'm gonna say this. After World War II, the world rebuilt, and Germany compensated the Jewish community. Yeah, that was a way of asking forgiveness, if that can be forgiven. That whole country was led astray by the epitome of evil, but they came back. And you might remember that I mentioned that in Germany, when Rene Good was executed, they were holding vigil in Berlin. It's beautiful German people. There's so much love in this world. And one thing that I know for sure is that prior to Trump's illicit taking over of our country the second time, I really noticed how happy and joyful people are and loving people are. And prior to Trump stealing his way back in, the crime rate in America had dropped so low. Oh, you two wrote a song for Renee Good. I have not heard that yet. Do you know the name of the song? I can look it up. The crime rate was really low, comparatively, like, historically low. And we were on a really good path. And we can remember what it was like when Kamala was on the campaign trail. What was the predominant word? Joy, joy, joy. We're getting our joy back. We were exuberantly happy. And the evil couldn't handle it. The evil couldn't handle it. Oh, no, we don't want all these joyful people that love life, that love one another. Oh, the name of the song is American Obituary? Well, that's morbid. I'm not maybe I won't listen to it. I like Bono. I remember that Bono said something on a talk show, it might have been with Stephen Colbert, where this is a few years ago, and Colbert was asking Bono what he thought of America. And he said that America, I'm just totally just giving you a description of what I remember he said, that America was so interesting to watch because you never really knew what America was going to do. And he said something about that America always kind of seems to figure it out. So we're going to figure it out. I know it's daunting, but you know that saying, two heads are better than one? We have like 340 million heads. Some of them are lost, but a whole lot of us aren't. I'd say maybe a third of them are lost, but oh well, we'll do what we can with the majority of us. We can do this. Miranda Lambert has a song about ice. You love it, but YouTube took it down. Yeah, and that's why I say words that I'm sure wreck the algorithm. I still don't understand really how that all works, which is why my YouTube numbers are just dropping like crazy. So we just keep going. We just keep going. So thank you so much for joining me and us tonight. Thank you for all your commenting. I'll be back tomorrow. And I may or may not make a video to upload tonight to just go to read on the events that are happening. But the most important thing is that we do the self-care. Thank you for all the hearts tonight. I got more hearts than ever before. And we will see you really soon. Keep the faith. Be gentle. If you're tired, take a nap. And then wake up and be energized. Okay. I like to say namaste. See you soon.